Hi, all you gems out there. Welcome back to the Genealogy Gems YouTube channel. I'm Louise Cooke, coming to you again here from Roots Tech 2017. And joining me is one of our newest gems at the Genealogy Gems podcast, and that is Amie Tennant. Hi, Amie.
Hello, Lisa.
I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Excited.
Well, I know a lot of folks, of course, get our newsletter, which you can get all that info down below this video, our YouTube channel. And so they're reading a lot of your content. You've been blogging for us and putting together a lot of wonderful new posts and topics we haven't talked about before, and it's just been fantastic.
It has been really fun.
I
Really
hope you
fun.
enjoyed it.
I am enjoying it, and I'm enjoying the feedback that we're getting from people too. And so it's been it really is great.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that's happening here at Roots Tech is getting the feedback from people. I've been here every year since the beginning, and I can't believe how much it's grown. I know you've been working over at the booth, and it's just been
Oh my
busy.
goodness, nonstop.
Yes,
Nonstop. Right.
yes. And so, Amy's been teaching classes, working over at the booth. And are you finding you're running into as many beginners as I am?
Yes. I was kind of shocked because you think of Roots Tech and you think maybe the more advanced group, but really we're finding that it's been a lot more of the beginners. And you and I were talking earlier about, what might it be that's bringing these beginners in?
Right.
And we talked about maybe it's the DNA.
I
is the
think
new
so.
thing, and the new commercials out for Ancestry, and that's reaching a new crowd of people who maybe never thought about doing genealogy. And what better place to come than Roots Tech?
Well, they find out their ethnic heritage, right, with the test. And then you realize that the only real way to do anything much more with your matches is you need to have a tree. You need to have some information.
Accurate tree.
An accurate tree helps tremendously. So when the beginner walks up to you, and you've been doing this for, 15, 20 years.
17 years.
17 years.
Yeah.
They walk up to you and they say, okay, I did that DNA testing, but now what do I do?
Now what do I do?
Where do you start them?
Well, okay. I do send them to our blog.
Yeah.
Genealogygems.com, and there's a Getting Started tab. I do say that.
There is. So that's new this year.
Right. But I've thought about this because people do ask, these brand newbies, what do I do now? What do I do now? Usually the newbies are of the younger variety.
Yeah.
And they learn differently than what, we maybe have been used to in the past. They're learning other things via YouTube and social media, Facebook and so forth. And so there are new ways to learn genealogy using those things. So, we use the website, go to the website, learn from the blog, learn from your videos.
And I know we've really tried to embrace that at Genealogy Gems. And like you said, have that place on the menu where they can just click,
Get
start
started.
here,
Yeah.
get started.
Yep.
And we have the podcast episode and all that. Well, let's talk about some of just the nuts and bolts.
Okay.
You start with yourself.
Right.
And you work backwards. So you're always falling back in time.
Yes.
And what are some of the first things that you encourage people to do?
Well, I always say, yes, you start with what you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's really best if you start by interviewing, asking questions. Who was your mother? Who was mother's mother? Who was grandpa's father? And stuff like that. And then going into the records to verify the information that you've gathered. So I think that's the first step.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, working back, I think it's also a good tip to take one generation at a time. When I started getting the hang of it, it was very easy to quickly add people. And what I really should have been doing is focusing on one family at a time and finding those vital records, the birth, the marriage, the death, maybe even a few extra little tidbits like a picture or a story.
Right.
Without getting too far ahead before I recorded things and sources and stuff like that.
Sometimes I think with things like, the hints on some of the major genealogy websites, you start to kind of just lead you a little bit by the nose, if you will. And really, you kind of miss the rich stories and the texture and the context.
I think I've heard you use this phrase, the shiny object.
Yes, the B.S.O syndrome, which is bright, shiny objects that just start bringing us all different directions.
Squirrel. Yeah. And you're over here and then you're over here. And you might miss out on the enriching parts of the family history.
That's so true. So that's where you get into Google Books and county histories and all of that.
Exactly.
Well, fantastic. And how about you? Are you enjoying this? I know you kind of just took the plunge and you're going to do the certification.
Yeah.
And how is that going?
It's funny you say took the plunge. That's exactly
Well,
what
it
it
is kind
was.
of a plunge,
It is a
yeah.
plunge. I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it more. I've been talking a lot about this recently. When you become on the clock and you start your certification, it's a year. But I took out an extension, was the best thing I ever did.
Buy
And
yourself some time.
it did. And what happened was that first year is the bright, shiny object and the squirrel. And oh my goodness, there's this, and I didn't read that, and all these things. So, this second year, which I'm in my second year, I have 6 months left to finish up. I've been able to more enjoy the process, which
Hmm.
I think is part of the process. It should be enjoyable.
It should
Why
be.
does certification have to be scary and yucky? It doesn't. It can be enjoyable. So I would encourage that. Yeah.
And that's really what it's all about at Genealogy Gems is we want you guys to feel comfy with us, whether you are starting from the very beginning or whether you're more advanced, want to take it to the next level. We've got folks who can help you at all the different levels that you're working at. So stay
Mhm.
tuned here at the YouTube channel. So have you clicked the red subscribe button yet? You got to do that so that you can make sure that you get all the new videos that are coming out. We've got lots
Uh-huh.
coming out this year. And Amie, thank you so much. I'm
You're
so glad to
welcome.
have you as part of
Thank
Genealogy
you.
Gems, and you're going to be hearing more from her.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.